Hello, everybody. After going through the chaos of the college admissions process, I wanted to give a few of my thoughts and maybe a little bit of a description how I believe other people should approach the difficult challenge of college admissions. So, first, everybody wants to know stats. Stats are fun. I'll go a little bit into mine. So I took both the SAT and the ACT. In the SAT, I got a 1520 with an 800 on math and a 720 on English or reading, whatever it's called. And then the ACT, my best composite score was a 33 with a 33 on math and science, a 35 on reading, and a 31 on writing, but my highest super score is a 34, with English being changed to a 35 and math being changed to a 34. I've taken 8 AP classes in high school. If you want to know my results for those, I have other videos for that. Those are good. You should check them out. Extracurriculars. I was involved in band for all 4 years of high school. I wasn't that great. I was okay. I also did an out of school activity in the weekends of that. That's another thing I did. I was in the Math Honor Society at my school. That's about all I did. I didn't do many extracurriculars. In school, I was a part of the Project Lead the Way engineering program for 4 years. But overall, I didn't really do very much outside of just the normal education. But hey, I had a 4.0 unweighted GPA, about a 4.8 weighted. I know, sounds great. My school had very inflated GPAs, so it was good, but it was nothing special. So the schools that I ended up applying to, I'm from Ohio, so I did Cincinnati and Ohio State. I also applied to Penn State, Purdue, Virginia Tech, and Northwestern. Stretch schools are fun. You can do one or two. I only applied to 6 schools. I see a lot of people applying to like 20, 25. I don't think that's necessary. My first piece of advice is only apply to a school if you A, can see yourself going there, B, have a fee waiver for it, and C, it doesn't take much time to fill out the application for that school. If you're spending $1,000 on college applications for a school you don't want to go to, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. And you don't need to apply to that many schools if you're not even going to go to them in the first place. So I applied to the Honors College for every school I applied to besides Northwestern. And my results were I got into the honors program and the school for Purdue and Ohio State. I actually forgot to apply for the honors program for Cincinnati, which I don't know how I did that. I didn't really see anything for it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I wasn't going to go there anyway. Penn State, I made it into the school, but not the honors program. Northwestern, denied. Woohoo, what a surprise. And Virginia Tech, I actually got waitlisted. I just kind of denied the waitlist because I didn't see a necessity for it. If anybody's curious, Purdue was my number one school the whole time, so I got in the honors program there, and it was basically done at that point. I'm sure there's some people that are thinking, you had all of these one great stats. Why didn't you apply to more like higher level schools? And I don't really see, even for better students, I don't see it as a necessity to apply to like these 15 out of the 20 top 20 schools just because you're supposed to go to those. I don't know why that's a stigma. I'm going into engineering in the schools I applied to, even though they're not seen as like a top 20 school. A lot of them are in like the top 10 to 20 engineering programs. So I feel like you should look a lot into the rankings for your major more than the total rankings themselves. And even that, things like financial aid and all that come really importantly into your decision making process. I feel like rankings are a bad thing to make all of your decisions off of because I think that rankings are great, but there's a lot of manipulation involved in that, and your quality of education probably isn't going to be that much higher and might even be lower at a higher ranked school than somewhere else you're more comfortable with. I think that fit and culture of school and that aligning with what you want is more important than a ranking. But like I said, for a good student that I believe that I think I was, I don't know. That's up to you to decide. I think that applying to, like, say, an Ivy League school isn't really a necessity. You're wasting a lot of your time. And if that's what you want to go for, that's great. Go all in for it and do it. But if you're just going to half it and then expect to get in, it's not going to happen. And you're wasting a lot of your effort that could be spent perfecting an application for another school that you really want to go to. And even for semi less competitive schools, there still are a lot of people applying. And if you make your application just seem like you're some generic person with no interest in the school, they're probably not going to accept you anyway, even if you have super high stats, even higher than what I have. So now I'm going to go into some maybe advice for when you're filling out your applications. Common App, it's great. I did it for a lot of schools. It's not a difficult process. I think the main parts of Common App you can get done in an hour or two. It's very fast. It's not a big deal. One thing that I would really focus on is the essay portion of the Common App, because that's the opportunity for you to personalize yourself and make you a more intriguing candidate for any school. Like, I know a lot of people write some inspirational story for their Common App essay, but I think that if you're going to make it a generic story that they've heard so many other times, they might not have as much of an interest. I know this is really, I actually came up with my essay idea at like 1 in the morning, and I actually wrote mine about if life gives you lemons, how do you make it into lemonade? And I basically just wrote how studying for a test relates to the recipe of making lemonade. It was really dumb, but I had no other ideas. So I was like, sure. Obviously, it semi worked because I got into things. And I had basically no extracurriculars, which I don't recommend. I think extracurriculars are important. I just didn't personally see that I thought it was worth my time to go into extracurriculars I didn't want to do. So I think extracurriculars are important, but you should go into extracurriculars that you think are interesting, fun, and are worth spending the time. Because if you're just going to go for extracurriculars for the application, you're not going to enjoy it. And the whole point of going through any school process is to actually enjoy what you're doing. It's not all about just doing it for an application, because I feel like a school is going to be able to tell if you're doing things just for the application or if you actually want to be doing what you're doing. Like, everything I did was related to either music or math, because I thought going to engineering and I was interested in math. So I decided, hey, I'll do a math honor society and I'll do a few math competitions just on the side because I thought they were interesting, and I did okay on some of them. But I didn't want to do any extra honor societies or random clubs just to put on an application, because I thought there's only so much time in the day. Why am I wasting my time on something I don't want to do when I can be doing something I enjoy more? I think it is ideal to do things you enjoy, because you can fill an application on just things you enjoy. I don't think my application was empty, even though I didn't have many extracurriculars or volunteer opportunities. But I think that it is definitely important to do things you really enjoy. So about December, January on is when a lot of schools release their decisions. It's an exciting time. Like, you get to have acceptances, which are the biggest high, denials, the biggest low. But don't get too discouraged if you get denied from a school, even if it's one you really wanted to go to, because there's so many schools that are so similar that if you get denied from one, there's so many opportunities to get accepted to another school that you're going to enjoy just as much. And I think it's important to really keep yourself up and just go for the process. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, and eventually you're going to get a school that you really want to go to. And I think it's super important to visit schools that you're applying to, which is another reason why it's better to apply to less schools compared to like 25. Because I think when you should have an expectation of when you apply to a school what it's going to be like to actually go there. Out of the 6 schools I applied to, I visited 4 of them. And my top 3 schools which were Purdue, Ohio State, and Penn State. I visited all 3 of them, and I thought it was very insightful to visit the schools and get an idea of what the atmosphere is like. And if you have the opportunity and know people that are at the schools you're applying to, get into the places that most applicants can't go to. Because I know for me, I was able to visit like some of the engineering labs, and for me, going to engineering, that's something I might not have seen before, and it was important to get that experience and be able to see parts of the school I might have not otherwise. So the college process, it really is what you make of it. So there are people that can apply to just one school they really want to go to and get in and be done and fine. And I think that's great if that's what you want to do and you commit yourself to that. There are people that apply to like 20 schools because they genuinely don't know or they really want to strive for that super high ranked school. Go for it. But I have a backup plan. Always have that safety. I know in my 6 schools, I had the safety, the stretch, and then the 4 that were kind of in the middle that I didn't know how it was going to go, but we'll see. And if you're applying to honors programs like I did, don't make that your whole decision if you get into the honors college or not. I know for me, I probably would have chosen the same school even if I got into honors college or not, because there's definitely opportunities there, but I don't think it's enough to completely sway your decision. It's enough if you have like 2 schools that are super close to each other in your opinions. But if you have like a school that's super above another one, but you got into the honors program for this one and not this one, go for the school that you would enjoy more. Because you're going to be spending 4 years of your life there, and you don't want to dread every minute of it thinking you want to be somewhere else. So that's kind of some of my thoughts. If anybody wants more of like an in-depth description, I guess, more into what I went through in the process or in high school in general, I could do more videos. I'm trying to get through so many topics about school and college processes in the summer before I go. I'm going to be a freshman in the fall. So just let me know if there's anything else you want to see while I'm still doing all these, and I'll do stuff once I get there too. So let me know. It'll be good. Cool.